Viva Mexico. This week we're gonna see if I can actually get my it'd be a happy birthday for me as well, for my Mexican citizenship, to have my dual citizenship. So we're gonna check it out. Stay tuned.
And by the way, that's the building where you're going to get it too, right?
It is. It's right there.
Cool.
I mean, if I'm successful, it's gonna happen right there.
This week.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Hey, this is Ada.
And this is Stefan.
And welcome to Living Simply in Mexico. And today, I am officially registered as a Mexican national. So
yes, I did not realize, I did not marry a Mexican national, but now I am married to a Mexican national. So go figure, you never know, huh?
So I'm going to tell you a little bit about kind of the backstory as to kind of how how I got here, and it will hopefully fill in some blanks for some of you guys that have been, kind of, I don't know, just filling in the blanks about us, and also kind of what processes it took to do what I'm doing, because I have a unique situation, and also where I go from here, because there's still lots of work to be done to continue to make things official. So anyways, with that, we're going to celebrate though tonight.
Yes, exactly. So we were going to go to La Capella, but they were all booked up on a slow season. So we're going to go to Hacienda San Angel for some good...
We're on the back side of
dinner. We're on the back side
of it. Yeah, we need to go this way.
Yes, exactly.
So I see we're having so much fun. So if you live in this neighborhood, this is a very cool street, actually.
Yes, exactly.
I just want to point that out. Okay, we're going to go down this street.
Excellent, yes.
Celebrate.
All right.
To being a Mexicana.
Cheers.
Cheers. Salud. Check that out. That is, that's pretty amazing. Like, this is amazing. Welcome to our tub. This is not a hot tub right now.
It's a cold tub.
It's a cool tub. The jacuzzi is quite useful depending on what temperature it is. But yeah, we were going to go to the beach, and it's a little muddy out there. You can't really see it.
There we go.
There we go. You can kind of see it there. This is probably a better view anyways, a silhouette. You might get the occasional reflection of
exactly. This is our first in tub video, and it's probably, I don't know if you want to see two 50-year-olds in a tub, but anyway, hopefully the topic will be more interesting.
This 50-year-old is fine to see in a tub.
If you had all your paperwork in order,
right,
the birth certificates and the marriage licenses and all that, you went down there, you could literally get your citizenship in an hour.
Yeah.
Which was absolutely crazy to think about, for me at least.
First of all, there's a couple ways that you can get your Mexican citizenship. One is if you are born on Mexican soil. Another way is if you actually are born with one or both parents being Mexican but abroad. So that kind of is where I fell. My mom was born in here in Jalisco, actually, and my dad was American, but I was born in the United States. So, and then the third way is actually getting naturalized as a Mexican citizen, which involves having some period of permanent residency, and that varies depending on if you're married to a Mexican or not, and also being, having a solid grasp of the language, and a little test with some history, some Mexican history, so you've integrated into the culture. So those are the three ways. Well, there's actually, first of all, there's a great video. We're gonna reference it here. Punk Expats, I think, is the name of their channel.
We'll put one of their videos up on top.
Yeah. So wherever that might be, they have a great channel. But they do have a video on dual citizenship and how she went about doing that. Watch that for how you get it in the U.S.
You kind of read through the materials, right, of what you needed to get your citizenship. And what were the things, again, that you needed to have in order to get your citizenship here in Puerto Vallarta?
Yeah. So what I read and what I was told would always change a little bit.
All right. As we do these videos, you'll notice that we cut clips together, and sometimes they're out of order. So this one, my hair is wet, It'll be dry before and after. So pay no attention to this. Ada, we had some talking points about some things you wanted to mention.
Yes, and that is what you read on the San Francisco, not San Francisco, but if you are trying to get your citizenship, your Mexican citizenship in the U.S. for Mexico, what's on the Mexican consulate's website is a little different than what you're going to need here in Mexico. So I just wanted to emphasize that point because that's where sometimes things can take a little longer if you are relying on one piece of one source and then you come somewhere else and it's a little different. So what we're saying today is what was required at the Registro Civil in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico.
So what you're saying is you may get two different stories. Be patient.
Yes, and that's it.
That's it. I better. You left the recording, didn't you? Mm-hmm. Oh well.
So here's what you need. I'll tell you what you need.
Okay.
Okay. If you're going to get your citizenship here in Mexico,
as a person that was born to a mom or dad that was born in Mexico.
yes. All right. These are the things you need
All right.
that I discovered after trial and error.
Yes.
Number one, your birth certificate from your country that you were born in, that wasn't Mexico, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It needs to be apostilled, which is a stamp that they put on
By
there.
by the state.
By
or
the government. This is apostille is like recognized from like 151 countries do this. One point of note, when you apostille your birth certificate, I had apostilled it back in 2005 and it was too old. It needs to be recent. So that's a really important thing. So if you maybe did it a few years ago, maybe thinking you were going to go through the process, do it recent.
So Ada went, she could have mailed it in and had someone do it for her, but she went to Sacramento.
Yeah, I went to our state capital and I dropped it off, and a week later it came back in the mail with this nice stamp and this.
A day before we were to fly out.
Right. So apostilled birth certificate.
Okay.
Now that birth certificate, including the apostille page, needs to be certified translated. However, here is the hook. Here's the hook. It needs to be done by one of the translators that they recommend, like here, or in this case, it might be wherever in Mexico
because you paid a lot of money for a certified translator in the United States.
Yeah, there's a ton of like these things online. I actually went to one local. They said yes, don't do the ones online. Those are like more machine translated. They'll reject it. Ours is hand whatever. So they did it. They did it rush. And as it turned out, it was totally useless because the Registro Civil here wants it from one of their certified. And the reason why is I think they're associated with the notary because it was at the notary office. So don't get it translated until you come to Mexico and actually go to the civil registry and ask them, do you have a list of certified translators? That's who you're going to go to. They did it in a day. It was fantastic. It was like $40, $40 US. So that's. So I did that.
So the apostille
birth certificate
officially translated from a local recommended translator.
Yes, so that's
approved.
number one. That's super important.
All
okay.
Right.
Number two, you need the birth certificate of your the parent or parents that were born in Mexico. And that needs to be a certified one. And you should actually get copies of all this stuff. I did have copies. I didn't give it to them, and they ended up taking my originals.
So basically, so your birth certificate, your marriage certificate.
Well, yes. So marriage certificate.
And you got that pulled up from the small town that they got married in here.
Yeah,
in Mexico.
Right. So.
And then there.
But hang on.
Okay.
If your parents were married in the U.S., you're going to have to get it apostilled and get it translated the same way you did the other. I didn't have to worry about that because my parents were actually married in Mexico.
Gotcha.
Okay, so that was the difference.
Okay,
So their
so
marriage certificate.
Birth certificate, marriage certificate of them.
Right.
Okay. Then your mom's.
My mom's or your parents' birth certificate. Okay.
Okay.
And then my dad, I didn't have his birth certificate, but I had his death certificate. That did not have to be translated and all that. That was just another supporting document. It's good to have that, okay, if you have a non-Mexican parent. But I think if both parents are Mexican, I believe you need both of their certificates.
Gotcha.
So that's that's basically it. That's what you need. So then you take that down. Once you have all that, you take it to the Registro Civil, and they basically take a look at that. They make sure the documents are correct and real, and they input all that stuff in the computer. I was sitting there for maybe 45 minutes, an hour, as she sat there and plugged it all in. We actually, the translator, the official translator, did make an error, did make a typo, and she caught it. So they looked closely.
Yes.
And then she printed out. I had to sign a couple things just to verify the information that was typed.
And you're then official.
And then she printed out the official one, and she said, "Congratulations, you're Mexicana." So I said, okay, literally in our civil registry building here, like across the way is, like across the courtyard is the Mexican passport section. So I said, can I
let's go all the way.
Can I go there? And they're like, yeah, go ahead, you can go over there. And actually, I have to say, the gentleman who was working that office, he was actually really nice. He was my first point of contact the first time I came, and told me that I needed to make sure everything was done. So I went to his office, and he says, okay, he's like, what I need, it's like, you can't just do it. I need to actually now get my INE, which is my like voter ID card. And so you need to make an appointment for that, show your birth certificate. And actually, he said, because I was not born here, I need to probably also bring an apostilled original birth certificate. So I got to go through that process again and get it translated. That's not a big deal. Now I have the translator in my phone. And then you also have to bring a proof of residency where you live. So you could actually have your Mexican. I could do this once again. I could do this in the United States. So once I have to make my appointment is like, and here we are in September. The soonest I could get was like in November for this appointment. So it's going to be a while. Mm-hmm. When I get that card, I then need to go back to the passport office. Now, because there is a 50-year gap between when I was actually born and when I'm actually registered as a Mexican national, they need to have a way to kind of be like, hey, are you not just some person, like I'm not some, this is not a fake ID, right? Like where have I been all of these years? And so they said, basically, get student IDs, get tax records, things that sort of show that you were living in the U.S., things that show kind of that you've been alive.
That should be no problem.
And yeah, that will be no issue at all. And so that helps to support everything. So I will need that. I will need my my little voter card, and I will need my apostilled translated birth certificate, and my new shiny Mexican birth certificate. So yeah.
All right.
But that's important that you know that it's not just, you can't just sort of swing it in the same trip.
We're living simply in Mexico. But frankly, our lives are relatively complex right now. We still got, my mom passed away, but we still have a number of our other parents that are still alive. We've got a daughter that's a number of years until she gets into college. We do know that as we get out of our work lives, where we're working 40, 50, 60, 70 hours a week, that we're going to slow down, and we'll be slowing down here in Puerto Vallarta and spending a lot more time here. Now, Ada's already covered. Now, for me, it's a different story, right? Am I going to get permanent residency? How is that all going to work? Is now married to a Mexicana going to help out? We don't know that yet. But it's really an exciting time, and it's a long journey that we plan to continue to video on. And these next videos that we have coming up, I think are really going to be important because we're planning ahead, and we've got some big announcements coming up in next videos, so that'll be pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts there?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing is, once again, one reason why we love Puerto Vallarta, love where we live right now. The other night we had our, like I said, our local neighbors over at the house, and we were just sitting there, once again, getting to practice my Spanish, learning some new words. And, I think having things like a really strong grasp of the language is going to really help just bring us closer to where we live here, and then closer to my family, which also, like I said, does not live too far away, relatively speaking. So
yeah. And oh, by the way, I don't know when this video is going to come out, but what was really great about this is Ada got this all around. Was it September 15th and 16th, right?
Yeah,
So,
September 16th which was yesterday. That was Mexican Independence Day, which Viva Mexico. Which, you know, usually it's a little crazy typically on a typical year. COVID year, not so much, and it was actually downpour last night. So we had our own little celebration.
Yes,
at our favorite restaurant,
at Vegetalia, which was absolutely wonderful. It was great. It was raining. We were the only ones there, and that was tremendous. No, by the way, we're also the night before at Hacienda San Angel. We were the only ones there too. So.
There is something to be said to come here during the very slow and wet season. Is you get your favorite restaurants all to yourself.
Yes, exactly.
Which is nice.
When people say what's the best time to come, it just drives me nuts because they're all good seasons,
right.
And you get different things during those seasons. So keep that in mind.
Right. So with that in mind, I think is that it.
I think that's it. Definitely. If you're interested in us, definitely do the bell. Definitely do the bell, subscribe, and all that, because we do actually have some good stuff coming up. The one thing I note, which is kind of interesting, is we did the hurricane video, and that got a lot of views, which is, we're not trying to go viral or anything. But what's really interesting is we got a lot more people that don't watch us or not really like us, not interested in what we're doing, and just sort of like people just sort of talking. We're not necessarily looking for these grand set of subscribers, and that's sort of a clarification from our previous videos, but we do want to have people that subscribe and that are wanting to engage and are wanting to live the lifestyle that we're living.
We enjoy comments.
Yes, we enjoy comments, and we also enjoy meeting people. And for the most part, just walking around, it's been good. It hasn't been too crazy since we've got a small following, so it's fun to engage people as well. So I guess with that being said,
we'll see you guys next time.
Yep, and take care, enjoy yourself. And I'm gonna go get myself wet.
Bye.